Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
I came across an opinion piece from a little earlier this month, and it shares some very interesting perspective. Among the most interesting of this individual's observations is the fact that if Ripple loses the lawsuit against the SEC, which is possible, I don't think it's likely, you know my stance on this, but possible technically. Well, if Ripple loses the lawsuit against the SEC, his opinion is that Bitcoin miners may very well end up being a future target for the lawsuit specifically. And look, here's the thing: we may all have similar or different opinions. I don't know what most people think in terms within the XRP community in terms of what the probability of that would be if Ripple actually loses. But even if you think the probability is actually low, it's not a 0% chance, and that's insane. Like, Bitcoin is the original cryptocurrency, and we still don't have clarity surrounding Bitcoin. Well, the sad truth is we actually don't. The SEC's never taken an official position on this. There have been people at the SEC that have argued in the past that Bitcoin is a security. I've highlighted that on the channel before. And so if they're just going to keep getting more and more power, if they actually do continue to rack up victories, and this would be a big one with Ripple, and then we'll have to see what happens with the library case also. If they start racking up victories, they're just going to have more and more power, feel more and more emboldened, and don't think that it's impossible for them to cross that line. Now, is it probable? I'm not making that argument. I'm just saying that everybody in the space should be concerned. That's really my primary message on that front. And so I came across this article thanks to James Filan, who shared this. It was a retweet technically from another member of the community named Johnny Bravo. So shout out to Johnny Bravo and James Filan. That's how I came across this. You always want to give credit where it's due. But before going any further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby, and just for fun, damn it. If you don't like it, well, you can just get out. So here's the story. This is actually from Forbes. This is, it comes from Ike Brannon, who is a contributor with Forbes, and this piece is titled, "A Ripple That May Reach All Shores." And so I read it just the other day, and it's actually fantastic. This individual does seem to get the bigger picture, so check this out. The rapid expansion in market capitalization of cryptocurrencies to over $1.7 trillion, the rapid rise of NFTs, $25 billion in 2021, $4 billion in January of 2022, and other digital assets, as well as the dramatic increase in decentralized finance, which is $75 billion, staking and liquidity pools, $108 billion as of December 2021, it raises two clear questions. How should digital assets such as cryptocurrencies be regulated, and how might this innovative technology add value and benefit to our economy? An SEC enforcement action moving through the Southern District of New York is poised to shape the answers to both questions, due in large part to the aggressive stance toward cryptocurrency represented by the Commission's legal theory. Legal experts and policymakers had best pay close attention. Now, in December 2020, the SEC filed a civil enforcement action against Ripple Labs, a cross-border payments company, and its two top executives, alleging that the company's sales of XRP, the cryptocurrency native to the blockchain ledger Ripple uses, have been unregistered security sales since they began in 2013. By the way, I gotta pause. The first time I read this the other day, before I finished the sentence, I said blockchain. I read blockchain ledger Ripple, and I was like, oh my god, is he gonna call it the Ripple ledger? And he didn't. And I will say this: there are people, mostly Bitcoin maxis at this point, that will still intentionally conflate Ripple and XRP as if they're the same thing. But I gotta happily admit, in 2022. I don't see that nearly as frequently as I did 4 years ago. It still happens. It still happens regularly. I'm just saying, it was a virtual certainty that the two would be conflated 4 years ago, and now less so. Hey, you know what? Small victories. I'll take it. Anyway, the piece continues. The SEC bases its position on the assertion that XRP's only utility is as an investment contract between holders and the company, and that all sales of the token, even on the secondary markets, have been and continue to be one long securities trade to fund Ripple's operations, which would require SEC registration. The Commission's case rests on its reading of the Supreme Court's 1946 Howey decision, which has provided the guiding precedent for determining if an instrument is a security since then. And by the way, pause. Have you ever thought to, what would it mean if Ripple actually registered XRP with the SEC and it was done successfully? What would that mean? Well, it's still a decentralized blockchain either way, regardless of what the SEC says. But if you're in the United States, that would mean every transaction, it's subject to the same type of regulations and financial implications that result as if you were buying or selling a stock, like with a publicly traded company. Think about the tax implications. That would just, so if XRP were registered with the SEC, it would be useless as a bridge currency for any corridor touching the United States. That's what it would mean. So even if Ripple did that, it would ruin all of its utility, period. And there is no path forward as far as the SEC is concerned at this point. They're just trampling innovation. Again, literally no path forward. They're registering a decentralized cryptocurrency with the SEC ruins its utility. It might as well not exist, frankly. That is the case. Piece continues. The recent White House executive order regarding digital assets merely states that there will be a centralized response, but there are no specifics as to what that response will be. The cryptocurrency asset class has been on the SEC's radar for years. Despite dozens of enforcement actions, public comments and speeches by officials, and questionable invitations for innovators to seek individual guidance, no cohesive body of guidance has emerged. Now, this has become clearer in the pre-trial phase of the Ripple case, as the company has mounted an affirmative defense that it had not received fair notice by the SEC that its actions were unlawful. To that effect, it submitted evidence of the myriad confusing public and private guidance given by the agency about XRP specifically and cryptocurrencies in general. Now, folks, it's worth pausing here to just reflect that this is yet another article from another individual who is not in the XRP community, is not necessarily deep into crypto, but so he's a blank slate. He was just confronted with the facts, and overwhelmingly on the side of Ripple and XRP. Overwhelmingly. And see, that's the case. That's what I keep seeing time. Like, where are the articles outside of, maybe you can find some Bitcoin maxi trolls, especially in the earlier days of this litigation. You could find some people saying, yep, see, Ripple, I should have done what they were doing. That's going to be bad for them. You could find those type of articles back then from Bitcoin maxi trolls, fine. But where are all the articles from reputable sources saying, yeah, the SEC, they're in the right here. It's going to be bad for Ripple, and they did a bad thing, and XRP probably goes to zero. Where are those articles? They don't exist. I would highlight them if they existed. You think I wouldn't be happy to cover that? Because I want to cover both sides of everything having to do with Ripple and XRP. I do. They don't exist, folks. If I can find one, yeah, I'll bring it up, but they're exceedingly rare. And as far as mainstream media is concerned, it doesn't exist. It's a unicorn. If you can find that, bring it to me, and I will highlight it. I can't find it. There's been almost zero exceptions for, I've been covering this a little over a year now, almost zero exceptions to that. Doesn't that tell you something? That the typical person comes in unbiased and they're overwhelmingly on the side of Ripple and XRP holders? Doesn't that tell you something? I think the answer is yes, obviously. Piece continues. Ripple contends that it did not create or issue XRP on its decentralized ledger, and its sales were akin to asset liquidations. Before the enforcement action was filed, billions of XRP tokens had been traded for more than 7 years by holders and users with no connection to Ripple. During that time, the SEC brought a variety of enforcement actions against digital assets other than XRP, and senior SEC officials made public statements that could be reasonably interpreted to mean that an asset like XRP would not be considered a security. The SEC's case rests on conclusory arguments regarding the nature of XRP with which they seem to believe all reasonable people would agree, despite widespread activity among a variety of sophisticated and experienced market participants for such an extended period of time. Now, this exceedingly broad reading of its own powers means the SEC intends to establish a very wide avenue of attack against any cryptocurrency market participant going back several years and disregarding whatever its officials and staff may have said in guidance. Should the SEC get the outcome it desires, market participants will be forced to assume that any token or digital asset could be considered a security and subject to enforcement action regardless of guidance SEC personnel have given them. This means all tokens, regardless of their use case, must be submitted to the SEC's still undefined but likely onerous requirements to avoid costly litigation. A win for the Commission in the Ripple case could signal that the courts will allow the SEC to make up the rules on cryptocurrency as it goes along, and they need not be coherent or consistent. That's offensive. They need not be that is what I'll believe, by the way. If this actually goes to hell in a handbasket, if we don't get the outcome that we deserve and expect, then it will be admission from the court that it's okay for the SEC to move forward the way that they're behaving. They don't need to have any sort of coherent or consistent policies, regulations. No, just fly by the seat of their pants. Whatever accusations they want to make, that seems to be fine. That's what I would think. That's how I'd take it. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but that is how I take it. Piece continues, though. Employees of an issuer could effectively face strict liability for aiding and abetting securities laws violations. Now, despite due process requirements and well-established precedent to the contrary, and this could extend the Commission's powers beyond what the Securities Act arguably provides. If the Southern District agrees with the SEC that it provided Ripple and market participants adequate fair notice that XRP is a security and all sales of the asset are securities trades, regardless of specific features that fall well outside the elements of the Howey test, this will set a precedent that would allow the Commission to target any token issuer and any market participant at any time for any sale, regardless of when the transaction took place. Now, such a broad standard could even allow for future enforcement actions against miners of Bitcoin dating back to the first sales of that token in July 2010. The practical effect of the court granting the SEC such broad discretion would be to put an abrupt end to cryptocurrency trading in the United States and send innovators overseas. And by the way, that absolutely would be the result here. It's the end of cryptocurrency in America. And I'll tell you what, every single cryptocurrency on the planet, and perhaps even Bitcoin, would be a security if the SEC gets their way. There will be no cryptocurrencies, decentralized cryptocurrency activity in the United States. Like, it would kill the entire thing. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but that's what we're looking at here. Piece continues. Perhaps the SEC launched a broad legal attack on Ripple with the expectation of a quick settlement by the company and its executives. But Ripple appears to be a successful going concern and, like much of the expanding cryptocurrency industry, is flush with cash and eager to fight. Its executives have said publicly they will not accept any settlement that doesn't provide regulatory clarity to XRP. So the legal stakes have become high for the entire cryptocurrency space and for the regulator as well. If the case goes to trial and Ripple wins on its fair notice defense, the court could establish an important precedent that the Commission failed to provide fair notice to market participants given the confusion it has sown, effectively forcing the Commission to finally create sorely needed comprehensive official guidance for the industry. The fear created by the settlements extracted in its cases against Kick Interactive and Telegram would be put to rest, and Coinbase may be emboldened to proceed with offering its cryptocurrency-backed lending product, ignoring the SEC's chilling Wells notice issued earlier this year. And I'll just pause to note, they should, and I would love for them to just be a little bit more on the offensive with the SEC, because they're going to get attacked regardless, right? And relist XRP, that would be fantastic. And then he states the following: for all these reasons, and with trillions of dollars in value at stake, not to mention the future of NFTs, DeFi, blockchain-based metaverses, and Web3 applications and architectures, all eyes had best be fixed on the Ripple case in coming weeks and months. It is likely to have an enormous impact on the markets and on the future of this innovative technology that cannot be ignored. And so there you go. He's got a good point. And,
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.